So up first, we are joined by Blue Star Helium with the ticker code BNL, an independent helium exploration and production company. To tell us more, today I am joined by Managing Director and CEO Trent Spry. Good morning, Trent.
Good morning, Jane. Great to be here.
Wonderful. Let me bring up your presentation.
Brilliant. Thank you. We'll get straight into it for time. So Blue Star Helium, the leading helium pure play, delivering high-grade, low-cost helium projects in the United States. We're listed on the ASX and the OTCQB. The disclaimer here is included in a much fuller presentation we have online as well, so you can look at that. We have a strategic large-scale US land position. We were the early mover in the largest helium market in the world. We have a high-grade green helium resource in Los Alamos County, Colorado. We've been undertaking a low-cost, high-impact exploration and development drilling program, and we've had recent discovery successes at our Galactica and Pegasus prospects, as well as our Voyager prospect, and positive results at Enterprise with 2 wells showing gas on logs. We also have a large additional untested exploration portfolio and clear commercialization pathways in an undersupplied helium market. So over the last year, we've delivered 4 helium discoveries, and we've brought 3 of our prospects into development. So that's an excellent, outstanding exploration result, success rate. We have those discoveries at Voyager, Galactica, and Pegasus, and again at Enterprise, gas on logs at 2 different wells. We've got exciting drilling coming up, our Serenity prospect. It's a maiden well on that prospect, and upon success, we have further locations already approved to follow that up. That will be actually starting this month. We've also got 4 helium development locations following up the discoveries at Galactica and Pegasus, set for approval hearing on the 19th of July. Again, they offset the discoveries we just had. 2 wells at Voyager have been permitted or submitted, and 3 are following, again, following up that recent discovery. So based on those discoveries, we've initiated a plan of development and feed studies as well. So initial feed will be at Voyager, which is an excellent discovery that'll be expanded out to Enterprise, and then we'll look at another facility to service Galactica, Pegasus, and Serenity. We've got a huge acreage position that we need to service. We're well funded. We raised money late last year for the exploration and early development work, and at the end of the March quarter, we had 13.6 million left in the bank to continue our exploration program. So helium is a critical technology enabler. It's a high-value commodity with high-tech applications. There's continued supply shortage and strong demand growth, and we're currently seeing a supply crisis, and a result of that is historically high helium prices. So just to recap on that, strong recent price movement because of the recent supply shocks. There's a lot more on the presentation that we have online that talks about the helium market if people are interested. But what it means for us is the base contract price was around $300 an MCF. We now believe that's around $600 an MCF. There's a growing spot market, which we believe and we hear anecdotally is around $3,000 to $5,000 an MCF for an incredibly high value commodity. So we were a strategic first mover in Los Alamos County. We've discovered a high-grade green resource, and we have excellent proximity to key infrastructure and major consumers. This is our acreage here in yellow, so close to 300,000 gross acres. In the green in the middle of the screen there, you can see that's the model dome field. That's an analog field, historic producer. 8% helium, one of the highest concentrations in the US and globally. To the north of that, you have our Voyager discovery where we discovered 8.8% helium, an incredible result. Over to the left of that, Enterprise, where we have gas on logs, and we'll be testing the Enterprise well soon. To the south, you can see clusters of leases forming over prospects yet to be drilled that we will roll out soon. Over on the right, you have the Cynthia True discovery, another 8.8% helium concentration, incredibly high, and our Galactica and Pegasus prospect, where we've recently had discoveries of 2 to 3%. And immediately to the southeast and adjacent is the Serenity prospect, which we have our well coming up at the end of this month. So exciting times ahead. We have substantial shallow resources and deeper plays. So what we've been talking about so far is our Lions helium play, where we have those prospects that we've discussed. So 13.4 BCF of prospective helium resource net to Blue Star. That does not include Voyager, where we've already had a discovery, and it does not include Serenity, where we have drilling coming up at the end of the month. So again, incredibly high concentrations that we've discovered and historically in this area. Below that, we have the Leviathan project, which is our deeper play concepts and secondary targets. So there's a well, Catherine Mock, that discovered 2.2% helium in the Pennsylvanian. We have a very unique formation, the Los Animas formation, sitting on top of basement, and they represent the source of the helium in the area. So they're going to be incredible targets going forward for our exploration program. So you can see we've been accelerating the portfolio. We've gone from exploration program with outstanding success now into plan of development and feed, but that exploration program will continue ahead. So we've already gone through the exploration program. We won't talk about those results, but we'll just recap on the forward plan. So workover and testing at Enterprise coming up soon. First well at Serenity prospect, 4 helium locations to follow up discoveries at Galactica and Pegasus, 2 already in and another 3 coming to follow up the discovery at Voyager. And that successful exploration program that's front run those appraisal and development wells will continue. You'll see prospects like Prometheus being rolled out soon, and you can see we have 47 wells in process for drilling. So we'll just go through some of the discoveries quickly. We'll just look at the cross sections to save some time, but this is the Voyager discovery. On the right-hand side of the cross section, we have the model dome analog, 8% in the Lions formation. Go across to the left, and we mapped Voyager on historic wells and water wells, tested it with the BBB well, and discovered 134 foot of gas, 8.8% helium. So an incredible result, moving us into appraisal and development. Looking at Galactica, again, this was one of our exciting prospects. We had a historic well at Denton B1. We looked at the old logs, interpreted gas there, followed that up with the Jackson 3 well, and had a discovery and proved 234 foot of gas, over 2% helium, an incredible result. Those wells are 6.4 miles apart, so it's a large closure, and you can see how much of the area we have leased in the yellow on the map on the right. So we were very confident going into this prospect. Moving across to Pegasus, which is adjacent to Galactica, similar situation, historic well that we interpreted gas to exist in the Lions. It was a missed pay, essentially. We followed it up with the Jackson 2 well, confirmed a 222 foot gas column, over 3% helium. And then Jackson 1 was meant to be a test between those 2 prospects, but also saw 217 foot plus gas column at 2%. So a great result. And again, large closure on this overall structural high that we have the dominant leasing position of. Serenity, this is our upcoming well. This is starting at the end of the month. And again, similar situation. There's a historic well there, State 3053. We've interpreted gas on the historic logs. That well was targeting a much deeper play back in the day. The Serenity prospect includes that well and a structurally independent up-dip test, which is the one that's being tested at the end of this month. So, like I said, we have 3 follow-up well locations there as well. That upon success, we can follow up. It really just a recap that we had the exploration program underway. It's been very successful and it's continuing. We've talked about the recent successes, and we have upcoming operations, the maiden well at Serenity, the Enterprise workover, future drilling at Galactica Pegasus, and you'll see other prospects like Prometheus roll out. We've followed up the discoveries with offset development well permits, and obviously we'll be upgrading our current resources based on those discoveries and growing that resource base with further exploration success. In parallel, the plan of development and feed has been initiated. So thank you very much.
Thank you for that, Trent. We've had quite a few questions come through, so let me jump into them. So when can you expect to receive the resource estimate for the Galactica, Pegasus and Voyager prospects?
So Galactica and Pegasus are targeting Q3.
Wonderful. And then, so in the latest AGM, excluding Enterprise and Salmons, it was mentioned that the company intends to drill another 8 wells during the second half of 2022. Can you just please confirm that the company is confident with this timeline?
Yeah, we're relatively confident. We have the permitting portion of that we don't have a lot of control over with the COGCC, but we believe we've got enough in play that we can achieve that.
Wonderful, and just time for one more. So does Blue Star plan to follow a low capital intensive development path to get some early wells into production to generate cash flow for further exploration?
We are definitely looking at that as an option, for sure. There are multiple options we have where we could lease a plant or we could start with a smaller plant, but that's definitely all part of the plan of development.
Wonderful. Well, Trent, that's all we actually have time for today. There have been quite a few other questions that have come through, which we'll forward on to you, but I would encourage webinar attendees to reach out to Trent by the contact details on the bottom of the ASX releases. But thanks for joining us.
Brilliant. Thank you, Jane.